All right, welcome back. It's been a few days, almost a week, I think, or maybe more. But I'm ready to get back to it. The only thing is that it's been so hot lately that this room is incredibly warm. This is like the hottest room in my apartment, so it's a little bit. I'm not sure how difficult it will be to just sit here and work for hours and hours, but we're gonna do our best. And before I get started, I wanted to mention, because I think the last video, I think I got some pretty good response on the stuff that I talked about, and something that a quote that I read, like, I don't know how long it was ago, but it's from the Henry David Thoreau book called Walden. And the quote is a really good quote, I think. And it's something that ever since I read it, I've sort of kept it in mind, because I think it's a really elegant way to put it in terms of like procrastination, and a really elegant way to think about procrastination. And the quote is, as if you could kill time without injuring eternity. And I think that's a really good way. It's such a I think it's an incredible way to put procrastination. Like, you're killing time, but you're injuring eternity. Essentially, you're injuring time in your own life. You're wasting your own life. The way that I take it, at least, is that when you're killing time, you're also killing almost your own life, if that makes sense. Not as brutal as that, maybe, but like, you're literally, like, if I sit and just scroll on my phone, I'm just wasting time. And what I'm really doing is I'm wasting my life. I'm wasting life. And I think as if you could kill time without injuring eternity is a beautiful way to put that. So we're not going to do that anymore. When I say that, I'm not great at not procrastinating, especially when times are a little bit tough. It's hard to know like what is okay, like what is just recovery, and what is what's recovery versus what is just prolonging, if that makes sense. Like, if you're going through something, you might feel like this, or I sometimes feel like, well, should I really be pushing myself right now? Is it too early to be pushing myself? Should I take some time and just accept that, like, well, I'm not going to be productive for the next week, the next 2 weeks, maybe. But at what point does that recovery period, that is, I think, necessary at least, at what point does that spill over into like where you're just extending your what is that called? Like, not gloating, because you're not gloating about your misery, but yeah, well, at what point is it no longer productive to be in recovery, if that makes sense? I think that's a difficult thing to know, and I don't think there is an answer to it, obviously, but yeah, I'm sort of allowing myself to be a little bit more of a procrastinator when things are a little bit tough, and slowly then just like ramping up or like turning the knob or the volume up or whatever you'd want to call that in terms of my intensity towards all the things that I do, whether it's working out, work, or just general house chores. But yeah, that's enough about that. And let's have a look at what we should do today. So online status should update live. Is available seems to be set to false when the app is open for the first time. Should be true. Online status should both represent online and available to talk. Okay. All right. I mean, Claude, what the actual fuck? I can see on the camera how long it's been recording. It's literally been recording for 28 minutes, and I've sent one message here, and then two messages. I've sent two messages to Claude, and I've reached my limit for today within 29 or 28 minutes. I mean, it's really not usable, and it's too expensive to do it's $160, something like that, for the monthly subscription that gives you a little bit more usage, which I don't know how much more usage you get from that. But I don't even know. I don't know if it's worth it, to be honest, because it's actually quite ridiculous how little use you get out of this. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me, at least. Or, well, obviously it makes sense, but it's just, it doesn't make sense for me to continue using it, is what I mean. But let's hope that Mr. Claude actually did some good things for us. So I'm running it on my phone, and then we're going to do a call just to see if we can what happens when we press leave. Because the idea now is that, first of all, when someone is in a phone call, it should be set to them being offline. But failed join matchmaking. Okay, I think we have a problem, which is that if I press the start connection thing here, I think this will update to be, no, it doesn't update to be offline. Okay. Okay. Exception while invoking edge function join matchmaking. Failed to join matchmaking. Okay, so there's some error with the join matchmaking thing. And I guess we're going to have to start using ChatGPT now. Maybe Grok too, but we're going to start out with ChatGPT. I hope that it can figure this out. But Claude was just so good because it could see the whole Git repository, which I think ChatGPT just doesn't want to do. But we have no choice. All right, so I think we get what we want, but now we're going to try to leave the phone call on my phone here. And what that should do is it should give some sort of message here saying like, oh, the man left. Okay. Some error occurs. Why can't I press leave? Oh, leaving call. Woman left the phone call. Great. Now let's see. If we go back, will we get connected? Yeah, we do get connected. But they get connected to the same phone call. All right, I guess that's good enough. We do get a message. I think the is available thing. Now we do. Okay, let's think. I want to test to see if the online symbol actually changes. Because it should change if we end up in a phone call, it should change to be offline so that if we are 3 users and these 2 users are in a phone call, then we don't want the third user to try to call this person because they are in a phone call with that person. So what we want is we want this person to see this person as offline, so they're unavailable to talk if that's the scenario, if that makes sense. So that's something that we want. I don't know if we should really do that right now. Okay, I'm trying to figure out what to do next. Do we test this next, maybe? How do we test that? Can we open another simulator? Fuck. Can I run 2 devices at the same time here? I don't know if I can. Doesn't seem like I can. All right, good job. Now we'll create a user. All right, we have a new phone call and we're going to try to match these users just to see so that we can actually test the stuff out. We have a new match here. So we have this match, and then what we're going to do, we're going to go on to this app. Okay. Okay, now the woman is set to be online. I don't know, there's some issue going on with the with when the user logs into the app, for some reason it sets them to be offline, and that kind of screws some things up. But what we can do now is we can do, how do we do this? Fuck. Okay, yeah, actually I realized that we could start a connection, and then we start a connection here. They will end up in a phone call, and as you can see, this turned gray, which means that when this person is in a phone call, it's set to be offline. So if I am this user here and this is my profile, and I go to check my matches, I can't tell if this user is on the app or whether they're on the app and in a phone call, or whether they're just offline, because it just says offline when they're in a phone call. And I think that's a good thing, so that we don't have any, like, so that I, as this user, don't start calling this person when they're already in a phone call, but also so that I, as this user, don't know if this user is online and talking to someone else, or whether they're just offline. So that is 100% taken care of. Maybe not 100%, but it is taken care of. Seems to be set to false when the app is open for the first time. Should be true. Well, let's try to tackle this too. I don't think this should be too difficult, so we're going to try to tackle it, see if ChatGPT can fix it easily for us, or if it's a harder thing to do. think it is in the main file. All right, I'm not really sure how to deal with this. This was actually a lot more difficult than I thought. This is now fixed, but the other thing that we are just encountering is that the online status should be false when the app is killed. So when you kill the app, it should set the online status to be false. So if I swipe up here, however you do that, I do not know. Seems to always be very difficult. But the idea is when you swipe up and you like kill the actual app, then the online status should reflect that. It should set it to be offline. And I don't really know how to fix that or how to deal with it. But one idea I have is that we could do it on the back end. So we like probe the users to see if they're online. And if they're online, we keep them online. But if someone kills the app, then because we're probing them, we'll see if they are actually still online or if they're offline or if they killed the app. Because if they kill the app, then they remain online, which is not what we want. I don't know. I feel like I had this working not that long ago, but now it just doesn't work. So I don't really know why. Like it seemed like it was a super easy thing to do back a few months ago when I was doing it as well. But now it seems like it's very difficult, and I've probably spent 2 hours trying to solve this. And that's what you get when you're on a roll and you just feel like, well, this should be easy, so let's just do this too. Okay, so whatever the function that we added here, it just doesn't do anything. Enable row level. Aha. So Grok wants me to use an external scheduler of some kind that will trigger this function. And that's why it's not doing anything. All right, I'm going to call it a day because this is just taking too much effort and it's getting way too warm. And it's 2:30 and I need to do other things. But thank you for watching. And yeah, I don't know if maybe it's just that Claude is way better than all these other models, because I feel like I've spent a lot of time today with ChatGPT just trying to get, like, it just creates bugs. And it also changes code for me. So I have this code written and I tell it, like, do not under any circumstance change anything that you don't absolutely have to. But I guess ChatGPT hasn't gotten to the point where it can remember those instructions, because a few messages later, it just removes stuff. But I have to go now. Thank you for watching, and I hope I'll see you in the next one.